That's not what intellectuals do. Intellectuals don't make up like knowledge that they don't have. They make up questions that they have, and they create a language for which those questions can be given the force of opinion. And then they deal with real problems that they actually have carefully. Right? Sometimes being careful means using force. I remember one time in China, there was a loud music coming from a speaker on the street, and I realized that it was just some guy playing a loud sound on a speaker, and it was the most horrible sound imaginable. This is coming from a developing musician, okay? It was this like plaintive, awful sound of death. It was the sound of death to me. And I went down and I saw it was a beggar who had no fingers and was using his voice through the speaker. He wasn't speaking himself. The speaker was speaking for him, and it wasn't his voice. It was somebody else recorded something for him to carry the speaker around to use to ask for money. And I knew that straight away. And I took that speaker and I smashed it against a wall. The concrete walls of the local apartment complexes where my grandfather lived, 3 floors up, and my grandmother, and they and my mom came down after, and she was like, "Oh, he's a bit crazy. Like, this is my son, but he's a bit crazy, you know." And I ended up giving them 400 Chinese monies, and as a way of sort of establishing the normality of my actions, I presented that as a purchase to the others after that. And then later when I moved out, of course, the guy was forgiving, thankfully. And because I couldn't help but observe to myself in my mind that it was overspending. But later on, I kept this speaker and I used it to play my own music when I lived alone in a different city for a few months. And that was cool because I liked my music. But also, it was my piano music, and I didn't have a piano for a long time. And I bought a guitar after that from a wedding. There was a wedding in a function, and I went up and I had a chat with one of the guys who was holding the guitar, and I was like, "Can I buy that?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." But you know, things were different. It wasn't like I wasn't full of energy at that stage. You know, I go out, live alone, and I burn myself out. You can probably see why. Like, you can probably see why I need my mom around, because like it's my personality to put a lot of energy into things I do, and it's important because I don't have much time. I think I'm trying to tell myself that I don't have much time, and it's true because like when I look around me and I see all these books, I need to understand these books, but like I don't have the same mission, you know, like I don't know if anyone does have that mission to reach millions of people. Like, if you want to reach millions of people with an idea that could change the world, just like, don't change the world with an idea, but change your perception with the idea. And you can do that in your sleep. I mean, by dreaming. Like, just dreaming. And if you can respect your dreams with your books, then we may be onto something. Let's see what we can do on the computer. Oh man, look, Jesus, am I going to show you how to use computers, or am I going to show you how not to use computers? I'm going to show you how to use computers. Okay. First we gotta get this whole place clean. You know, we gotta have a, what is it? An all-service expository dust clean. Yeah. So I'm going to do this myself. You know, I'm not going to just be like, Mom, would you clean my room? Because I'm not an asshole, okay? My mom is like overworked. She spends all her time cooking too much food for one person. So like, why would I want to distract her from that? Because she does what she wants, you know? Or am I wrong? Well, in any case, maybe I'm wrong. But like, you know, whose fault is that? You know, like, I'm a very open person. You know, it's up to other people around me if they want to eat food with me. And people have to swallow their pride. I don't think they can, because I mean, if you're eating with me, that's what you're eating. You're eating your fucking pride. Because I'm a pretty interesting guy. Like, when I walk into the room, man, you better grab your drinks. And you better stand up straight, because I am a guy who likes to be the center of attention in a party. And why is that? Why is it that you are so accomplished? Oh man, I'm not going to make fun of success. You know why? Because I believe in success. And I'm not going to make fun of anyone else, because I believe in everyone else. So I'm just going to use these books. But like, man, like, books are easily shared through video as well. You know? I see. I'm not speaking from the heart. You know, a lot of people have problems with me because of that. They listen to my voice and they're like, this guy has some kind of issues and it resonates the wrong way with a lot of people, you know. Maybe I have that kind of voice. So you should read what I write, because what I write is like infinitely better, you know. In a lot of ways. For a lot of reasons. It's like this struggle against like bad writing, that like, writing isn't just, well, maybe it is, I don't know, it's like, you know, trying to respect all these things that I'm becoming just takes me away from all these things that I was. But like, I mean, that can go both ways as well, you know. Like, things are changing, and you know, you have to read on a Sunday. I have to read on a Sunday. That's my mission. I respect the day of the Lord by reading the word of the Lord. And the word of the Lord isn't just in the Bible, but it is in the Bible. I'm not going to say it's anywhere else, because, I mean, if you can read the Bible, you can read anything. And I mean that. But it's not just words that you read, you know? It's not just words that are symbols. And, I mean, in this modern world, everything becomes a symbol, and it's passed with little energy. I think that's because anything can be used to save a dream. I mean, that's the whole idea about symbols in the first place. It's this connection with a higher mind. You know, it's like this higher mind is like on the level with symbols. And there's a thing like about letting go of force when observing an object. I guess you can learn by playing, especially in games now, because I mean you do things, but they don't do things to you in the same way that like they used to before you entered the game. Sort of. I mean, I think I entered a game. Yeah, I mean that's like a reflection on games is that I'm a character. You know, I think I started off by being a character in games, and that's turning me into a character now. But did we know that we had a media world to relate to when we started it off back in the 90s? You know, when we started playing Game Boys. Did we really see ourselves as continuing this life in a box? It's not really a box, you know. You never see it that way. Why do I see it that way? We went through troubles. So, look. Like, man, I could remain ignorant all my life about so many things, and I don't want that. So, I mean, I know somebody out there wants to teach. And I don't know if I should ask them to do this through a YouTube channel, you know, system. But the YouTube channel system is my system now, right? I claim that system, okay? So how do I claim it? Just because it has its own history doesn't mean its history is any more than the history that a developer creates for the world that he creates, so that people can play in the moment, you know? I mean, there is a real history that always persists in different capacities that you can identify as an individual in your unique way. You know, you learn history from a teacher, and you also learn about the teacher's personal life and personal history, but you know the limits of the things you can ask. But you shouldn't know too many limits too early, because you can decide that you can't learn something from somebody else on the same subject only because they don't have the qualifications. Or if they do have the qualifications, maybe you don't see that because you don't see the applications. Like, what are the applications of knowing history? You know, in my experience, any kind of history is a gift to receive from a book, because the historian takes upon themselves to relay information that the historian may not have, but someone would have it. Someone would have history, like in their family, or like in a tradition of minding animals or something. Like there's a history and a way of respecting it quickly and determinedly, like observing cause and effect or whatever. But it's like so much harder than just answering maths questions, which is what I used to do, because I used to enjoy that. But I think I've condemned myself to how history is the only way out if I want to be myself and be sharing something. I think I share more by talking about history than I do by talking about maths, because I know maths and I don't know history. Let's put it that way, right? And you tell me I don't know history, you're wrong. So I know history. But like, what's the point in saying that? Like, like, what is a CV? And what are you smoking? Well, you know, it's early in the Sunday morning, and like, I'm not going to represent everybody, but I can say that that is a well-made I don't know what this is called, but it's like vodka and Pepsi and a little bit of dark chocolate. That's been the dregs of this drink since I made it like 12 hours ago as a cup of tea. It still has a tea bag in it. And I actually quite like it. Cheers. But like tackling issues. Are we still doing that, man? Are we still depending on each other to tackle issues in real time, constantly? And when is this gonna loop over itself? When are we all gonna just start rewatching videos again in this terrible, like, media acquisition thing? And that's the thing that's been on my mind, actually. The thing that's been on my mind is that I'm in this system, and this system is feeding itself, and the system is like, the system is a dirty system at the end of the day, you know? Like, you remember the way it was? You should. Those of us who know history know that we have a responsibility to respect our elders. And we can do that by respecting history. And it's not just what we say, and it's not just what we dream. It's how we control progress in our hands and in our powers. We have, like, ways of talking about things that we can change. I mean, have we ever considered a simple experiment? Where we just don't own everything that we use. But like, I mean, it's just like we can learn something from the soldiers, right? Quickly, because they need our help now. We can learn something from them by passing tools on to each other, by listening to each other explain their struggles, you know, with everything, and trying to understand things, you know, at a reasonable pace, so that we can still sort of save the child in us when we do things. So that we still have a world that is growing around us. Not a world that we're just running into the ground with every new thing that we buy and dump on it. I learned a few lessons quickly, but I have a time limit too. You know, I'm a flower right now. You know, I'll be picked. Dirty. You're dirty. Dirty flower grown in a pile of dirt. Yeah. Whatever, man. Like, does a flower care that it's growing in a pile of dirt? No fucking way. A flower cares about the sun. And maybe it doesn't even know it. It doesn't even have to know it. That's the beauty of a flower. And the sun cares about the flower, man. The sun is going to fucking explode, but no human can comprehend how bittersweet that is for the sun itself, to see all the life blooming on a planet that circles it every day. Well, every year. Every day if you're playing my game, because in my game there's this model of the solar system where all the planets are going around. It's actually in the last video, if you check it out, see it. But you see, no mind can comprehend the notion that a son has given all this like power to a world, like in this beautiful way of filling it with all these spaces, these plants. Think of plants as like the first conquerors of space, and how like prudent they were at the beginning and still are, and what principles of the universe they carry in them. You know, when you're looking at your dead Christmas tree waiting for your presents from the Big Red, just think about that, man. Just think about that. Just you think about that. Now I'm going to just like, I don't know, I think I'm ready to deal with something on the computer. So let's go. Now the thing about it is, you're looking at this and you're like, wow, this guy's going to show off how smart he is and everything. But I'm not showing how smart I am. I'm an idiot, just like everybody else. Addicted to smartphone technology, playing video games into my adulthood. You know, like struggling with lust and language and regrets, and moving swiftly on from that. Like God, you know. But it is quite fun to have a few toys. Oh man, I can't do this anymore because I'm gonna start thinking myself as like this. That's the thing. I don't have that much time here. This is a stage that I've somehow got, and I don't have time to like fall asleep here. You know, I don't have time to fall asleep. You can fall asleep, but you're gonna have nightmares. You're gonna have nightmares about me. What have you done? I don't know, man. Have you done anything? Like maybe this is just the way I see myself now. The world is changing all the time, you know? It's just changing all the time. Like, you think you have information about something concrete, but don't you know that observation changes the thing you're observing? Like, we started off watching old 1950s films back in the day. This is like 15 years ago. Like, we used to watch black and white films. We used to watch the great films, you know, because we were able to handle them back then. You know, that's the real official duty of the student, is to sort of like embrace expression when you know and don't show in your day-to-day life. You watch a movie, you get that they used to express things in that way back then, or whatever, you know. And today it's a new thing. Today it's you carry this with you. You carry this teaching with you. You feel like if you have to exist with all of that, you have to be new. You have to put something new on the table. And it's tough without help. So I'm asking for an essay. That's all. But hand it to me. Don't hand it to everyone. Give me the essay to grade, and you'll get a proper teaching back, you know. You get a proper guidance, or whatever it is you did reaches me, you know. It's like, it takes time to correct. It takes time to go over. Really, it does. And it's not a joke. So you don't go around telling other people, you know, oh, I'm doing this stupid essay for my stupid school. You know? You're not selling anything, man. It's about thinking. It's about, like, your thoughts and dreams. I mean, if you don't think it's about your dreams, you're going to be convinced that it's about power, or it's about, like, what it is. around it. Like, it's about having a position where you're writing something and you're owning it. But it's really just about your dreams and about like bringing them into the light, so that I can read it. Because look at me, man. Like, what am I doing? Like, am I writing? Do I write now? No. I wrote. And now I want your essay. I want your essay because I want to give you my attention as a student or as a colleague or as a teacher. You could be a teacher and you could write me an essay. Writing an essay is, in a sense, teaching. But, like, you got to make the first step. You got to do that. You got to do that homework for me. It's not like I need your homework, but you can tell yourself that and it wouldn't be far from the truth. I'll tell you that the essay has a 2-week time limit. And I'm waiting for your questions, if you have any. And we'll go from there. Now, I'm interested in questions of my own. And I'll write an essay. I think the best essay is a mixture between creative writing and theoretical physics. And you're like, oh, Lottie, oh, he wants an essay on theoretical physics, eh? Well, geez, we'll just throw him the Maxwell equations and see how he deals with that. Oh, he doesn't know the Maxwell equations properly. Well, then he's not going to understand what I'm writing. And then another side of it is like, oh, well, he wants to come into my like horoscope, holoscape, post-apocalyptic, nightmarish vision of zoom, and chaos readings and pedantry and bollocks. Well, you can do that, but do it in your voice. Don't copy me. Don't copy me. When I want you to copy me, you'll know. You know what I mean? When I want you to copy me, for fuck's sake, you're not copying me at all. You're copying what I'm copying. And all I'm copying is something that I respect enough to not let be tainted by my terrible voice of controlling and commanding, which is what it's becoming because I'm asking you to write me an essay. I want you to write an essay, and we're going to keep it going. So write a fucking good essay, you know what I mean? And, write whatever you want, man. Take the leap of faith and start something that nobody else can copy. You know what I mean? Do something that nobody can copy. And I will read that and mark it and grade it and give you all the numbers you need. And you can get some pretty good numbers from me. I guarantee it. You'll get some credit from me. And I have credit to give. Like, you must speak your language in your writing. And 2 weeks is a lot of time, so plan it out. Start with your sketch of your vision of your subject. Create your own field. Write into it. Give it space. Give it time. Give it attention, but not too much. Mind yourself, mind your family, mind your friends. Live your life and let it be a good thing in your life that you have a pet project. Don't limit yourself. I will do the counting. I will do the measurement. You just be yourself. That's what you want. At the end of the day, when you see my grading, you'll understand that that I don't go all the way to where you're coming from with your ideas. So you get respect, you know, as a supplier of ideas. So, I mean, you don't keep asking, where's this guy coming from, you know? I mean, why would you do it? Because you don't want to have to bear the burden of, like, this new character who's just full of shit, basically, asking to be propagated. That's not what it's like. I have my own responsibilities. But 2 weeks is a lot of time. You have that. And I'll wait. But I'm not just waiting for you. I'm waiting for a lot of other things as well, you know, like from other people. So it's like, let me wait for you too. Be a part of this. Be a part of me waiting for you to offer something that may get you onto the next, you know, stage of, you know, the education that we're doing for ourselves in this new system that I think is fairly reasonable, you know, like, but I'm not asking for a video essay. I'm asking for a written essay. If that's okay. And, like, how do you know I'm serious? You don't. You believe I'm serious. How do I know I'm serious? I believe I'm drunk. It's very early in the morning and things are strange in this modern world. But I'll tell you, if you can write an essay in 2 weeks and hand it up, and, you know, like, the problem with teaching is that this isn't teaching, this is just asking for an essay. But once you open a subject, man, I'll try and limit my expression and thought on that subject to our shared connection. So that, you know, I'm not going to be there, like, with other teachers and just start from going, oh, this guy wrote an essay, and what do you think about that? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Because that's kind of like, okay, but, like, if I deal directly with the student, then it's like, you know, your options are, you can take it seriously, or you can warn me of the foolishness of my demands, which is normal when a student has a grasp on the subject that he's dealing with. If the student doesn't have a grasp on what he's dealing with, he's not going to respect, or she's not going to respect, the grading, because the grading is just, like, is not on the level of your expression, right? Your expression is not related to the grading process. That's my business. Your business is to follow your truth and to make your mark on that truth, and it will go down in history. You'll be grateful for it. So, do that for me. And cheers. But, like, what am I doing? I'm not even teaching anything, right? So, why don't you think about that. Just think about how hard it is to be a teacher when you've made no progress in, like, teaching. No, let me put that differently. Oh man, what the hell? Look, the most basic way to join my class is to just play my game, because The tools are there now, okay? They were in development for a long time, but they're there now, right? And now I'm defending it. Like a thesis, like a report. Like, that's my thesis as an adult. Is this fucking video game that I've made, man. This is my thesis, okay? Now, I'm not saying that I have no work to do or that I'm not part of a proper established community of peer-reviewed productions in the archives, or, you know. And I'm not saying that you're going to learn more here than you're going to learn anywhere else. But if you love learning the way I love learning, give it a shot. Because I need that, right? I mean, this is how I approach everything, you know, computers, books, piano. I approach it like, I need a computer to do something, and I don't know what it is, but I'm queuing for it. I'm queuing for that update. I'm waiting for that update. But, you know, like, if you're... Nobody has that much control over it, really, you know? Like, you know... So when you read that the thing is updating, like... I mean, what do you think? Do you think somebody is updating it? Come on. Like, they're just changing a few small rules and altering a few small things because it's their duty to do so, because they have that kind of ability. But like you need a real teacher, don't you? I mean, for everything. For everything, like, that we need to break down and understand properly in order to get by in this world. We need to understand things in our own ways, in the ways that are beautiful and that keep us going, you know? Like, not just like in a way that satisfies what we think other people want. And we can't do that and be honest, because doing is one thing, and then, you know, being is another. And my school is about being, okay? It's about truth. And it's not about doing. It's not about work. It's a game, okay? You have the energy. You have the hands. You can play it. I can't. I need time. I need a break. I need to, like, go and touch grass. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm saying that, but, like, it's true. It's true. I miss the mountain. You know, I miss living on the mountain, not just passing by the mountain quickly, like in a hurry, in a big rush to get that circulation in progress. I miss waking up on the mountain, taking time with the dirt and the stones and the trees and everything, you know. So, like, that is the holiday that I'm looking for. That's the dream that I would write if I didn't have, you know, so much power over my own hands. If someone could show me that there is more to life than what I do, then welcome to my school. You can download my game for free, and you can install it for free on a Linux computer with a few easy steps. It's a good game. It really is. It's not like any other game. Well, it's a bit like Minecraft, actually. But there's more to it. It's been modded. You have 3 means of expression: chalk, book, and a conversation tree. The conversation tree is ready. You can use it to ask questions and to create choices in your world. It doesn't have to be the same world, but I would appreciate it if you hand up your results to the world order, which is also available for free for anyone to download and to play with. But that's just one thing, man. That's just like, that's the thing that you're welcome to use to hand up your results officially. Okay. You're not limited the way I'm limited. So I mean, obviously, I should be paying you to write your ideas, but this isn't just for today, you know. It was written for all eternity, you know. It doesn't mean I hope the system exists the same way it does for all eternity. It won't. If things go right, they're going to change everything, man. They're going to change everything down to the core of computing if things go properly, right? But if you want a quick grade after 2 weeks of work, use it. Use it, man. Write. That's how you're going to change the world, man. You're going to write. So I'm not talking to everyone, you know. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the student who's still here, still learning. You have what it takes? Certainly not. This is more an art class than it is a science class. The most anyone could really hope for is a B. You'll probably, if you get a C, you're on the right track. If you get a D, you're on the right track. I won't fail you though, because I want you to keep going. So hand up whatever you got, you know what I mean? Don't look at your empty page at the end of the 2 weeks and say say you failed. Hand up that empty page. I could use more empty pages. You know how useful an empty page is in programming? Man, if you hand up an empty page, that means just I've got way more work to do than I thought, you know? Imagine me grading an empty page. God. Yeah, I suppose that happened at some stage. Yeah. You'll get more marks than the guy who just drew a dick. Do your best. Write a good essay. And cheers. I'm not going to judge you, man. If you hand up a good piece of work, my God, you've just elevated the whole class. The whole class can look at that work and know who the good student is, because I'll make it known that you're a good student. I'll say, look at the work that so-and-so, you know yourself. You know what it feels like to do something good for your teacher. Do that. 2 weeks starting now. And it's like, you've probably already got some ideas. It's not like obvious how theoretical physics and creative writing can mix in a non-sort of like non non sort of Hollywood way. Like, but like fuck yeah. And if you're only like 5 years old, sorry about all the swears. But if you're like running your own channel and already set in your ways, shame on you, you know? Because you just won't understand. But cheers anyway. Because so am I, you know? So am I. So I was talking about like how speech can be related to things, and it can also be related to like, you know, like movement and action, and or it can be just for itself, for like listening to yourself, your own body, and like feeling your own body, you know, like you gotta feel your body to heal it, and you can do that with your voice. So you don't get the same like kick out of football by analyzing it, you know, by sitting down. You feel football is something that your legs know, right? But you talk to your legs differently the way you talk to an intellectual or like a scientist or whatever. You know, you don't like shout at a scientist, yeah, you nail that like debate or whatever. Like, I mean, you can, but you're missing football then, you know what I mean? Like, you don't do that. Like, you know, that's not what I do, man. I fucking play football properly, you know? Like, I'm good at football because I don't like sell it into other things that I do, but also because we don't have games for football. So like in Minecraft, we don't have football. Like, so we don't like that's not part of what I think school should do to you. It's not like you don't have a football mission when you're in class. Okay, you can and you should do football without my instruction, you know. But like when you want to do football, or when you really want to do football, do it. You know, it's fun. You know, like I wanna juggle. You know, like I'm gonna juggle right now, because you know what? Like, I mean, it's just like not a problem for me to just juggle. But like, I like juggling actually. You might think I'm a bit crazy. That's okay. I didn't say I wasn't. What's your essay going to be about? Enlighten me. You got three ways, man. You got chalk on the wall, you got books, and you got conversation tree. You can really choose your path in my game. You know, you just need that little bit of computer skills. You just need a little bit of computer skills to play it. You just need to get the game to play, you know, you got to get the game running, you know, and I mean, it's not like rocket science. It's a well-established game. You know, Minecraft is well known. Minetest is like this other version of Minecraft. Similar rules, a bit more low-key development, but very intelligent developers. And my fork is called the Rogue Staff of Wind Order. And it's, you know, I'm not going to say what it is because I don't know what it is, but like, you gotta, you know, just put forth an idea or two. It's yours. You know what I mean? It's yours. Because like these things, just you can have it. You know? You can have the game. But like, I mean, you know, it's under the Creative Commons license. So like, I mean, there's no copyright on it. You can redistribute it your own way if you want. You can turn yourself into a teacher and you can ask other people to write essays for you or write on the wall for me, or you know, whatever, or be the tree of knowledge yourself, you know, with the conversation tree. Conversation tree is really like a Christmas tree because I think I used that analogy already, but it's a really cool analogy. That you have you can ask questions and get player responses, and you know, if you just want to do multiple choice questions, you got that already in the conversation tree. It's not hard to figure out. You can figure it out. And if you figure it out, you can even put your knowledge of how to do it on the conversation tree. So you can have the conversation tree be like, how do I add to the conversation tree? And then have the instructions in the conversation tree so that when person makes a choice like, do I want to make a conversation tree? Yes. Then you can just like have it so that they say in the conversation tree how the conversation tree works. How does it work? Well, it's just questions and answers. Choices, man. The conversation tree is just, it's a dialogue between the player and whatever you choose to make into that that tool of reciprocation of ideas. Like it could be a stone, it could be a person, it could be a tree, it could be it should be a stone really, because it should be a place that you go to. That's what makes it like more like a school. Like, I mean, the game is like you see, the thing about everything being a place is just way overdone and all over the place on the internet. It's like you end up feeling like, did I actually go anywhere? Because I remember just looking at this fucking form and like trying to decide whether my life is meaningless enough to think about answering a yes or no question about something I don't care about at all. But the game is like a simulation of space. So, I mean, I know it doesn't have all the physics in it, but like, I mean, you have the physics in you, man. So like, I mean, it's theoretical as well. I mean, academics communicate with models outwardly. And of course, when they understand things, they communicate with expressions. You know, it's a way of compressing experience or ambition. I'm making a video.
Go back to bed.
Okay, so anyway, there you go. Play the game and have some fun.